Okay, so here I am for a video number 3 on my channel, and as I said in the previous 2 videos, I'm going to talk about something that I'm going to research right now. I haven't done any preparation so far, so this is going to be interesting. And so for the first topic of research, that is going to be the performance art. I have mentioned that already, and I think you may wonder, why are you so interested in knowing that, especially today when so many people seem to frown upon that. But I think that is the precise reason why I want to do it, because I don't know much about it. Like, okay, I have to name a few things. First, I do know somewhat what performance art is. I know a few people who are famous, for example, Marina Abramović. I've also read a book that she wrote, which was very interesting, and you know what, maybe I should talk about it a bit, because some of the stuff is kind of crazy, I guess we can say that, but there was some interesting stuff. One of the most famous pieces that she did was the Rhythm Zero, is that what it's called? I'm not sure. And it was about her just basically standing in a museum, I think it was a museum, and she had laid out objects around her that people can use on her in the next, I don't know, let's say 6 hours, maybe less. And there were no repercussions for that. They can do whatever they want. So they would usually just start by looking at her, not knowing what to do, and then they would draw on her, or stab her with needles, or cut her, or tear her clothes off, or somebody even pointed a gun to her head. But somebody would stop that person, and she said that she was covered in bruises and cuts after that. And what happened in the end is, when the time expired, she was like, "Hi, so this is me, whatever, let's talk about it, I guess." That's kind of what happened. And they were not gonna do it. They couldn't, I guess. The reality is that most people can't face with the things that they do. They don't want to experience the repercussions of their actions. And that is the first time I kind of started to look into performance art. Well, not really look into, but to just be more interested in it. And today is the day that I'm going to research more about it. So let's find out what precisely performance art is defined as, and who are more notable names, and maybe name a few pieces. And you know what, maybe I'll even, at the end of this video, maybe I'll even include my own take on performance art. It's probably going to be in a video for, I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm even going to do it, but if I do, it's probably going to be shit. But I'm going to maybe do it. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go. So, by the definition that I can find, the first definition, performance art is defined as a time-based art form that typically features a live presentation to an audience and draws on such arts as acting, poetry, music, dance, and painting. What I'm getting from all these definitions, this is just the one that I read because it's the the closest to what performance art is, I guess. But from what I gathered is, performance art can be basically anything. You can make a video, you can perform, you can sing, you can act, you can do whatever you do can basically be performance art. That's the idea behind it, I guess. And then, okay, let me talk about this. This may be kind of weird or dumb, I don't know, but that made me question what else is performance art, or could be deemed as such, in everyday life, or that I've seen already that I wasn't aware of. And then this crazy idea got to me, because yesterday I got reminded of a channel which I don't know how many of you are familiar with, because it's a bit older, even though it's still kind of relevant, but nobody's talking about it anymore. It's called How to Basic, and I'm gonna put a clip here, hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted. And that to me also is kind of like performance art. I don't know how to define it as anything else. It is, I guess, comedy. It is disaster comedy because it's such a waste of food and resources. But it could be deemed as performance art, as silly as it seems. So yeah, maybe think about that. What else have you experienced online or in real world that could be deemed as performance art? Performance art usually involves 4 basic elements: time, space, body, and presence of the artist, and the relation between the creator and the public. That's actually 5. I don't know why they said 4, but okay. So we have time, for example, today at 3 p.m. in this museum. That's space. Me, that's body. And I'm an artist. I'm going to present something to the audience. So those are 5 things. And that is how I know it. So it's good that I have, I guess, more precise definition about what is being done. So from what I can see, performance art started in Zurich, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm gonna put that in here, in the form of Dada or Dadaism. And Dadaism is a movement from artists who rejected and, let's say, rebelled against the logic, reason, and aestheticism of modern capitalist society, instead expressing nonsense, irrationality, and anti-bourgeois protests in their works. Well, I guess that makes sense. I had no clue like how I just thought that it was basically an any art form, like painting, like singing, I don't know. I just didn't think about the origins of it. I thought it was just a way for people to express themselves through art, and that is what it means, but I didn't know that it started kind of like a political thing. That's interesting. Main components are humor, absurdity, artistic freedom, irrationalism, and, you know, much more. Well, yeah, that is, I guess, the way I perceived it too, and as well, from what I've seen at least. Although I did usually watch something that was more intriguing or mystical, or just a bit weird, I guess, rather than comical. But I've seen those acts too. Actually, I was thinking right now as I'm filming, I'm thinking, Yoko Ono, right? She's a performance artist, and Björk, she could also be seen as such. I'm thinking there's so many people maybe that I'm not even aware of because I didn't ever think about it, that they, you know what I mean. Let's continue. So these Dadaist activities lasted until the late 20s, okay? So after that we had Futurism, which is an artistic avant-garde movement that firstly started as a literary movement. Okay. The Futurists spread their theories through encounters, meetings, and conferences in public spaces that got close to the idea of a political concentration with poetry and music halls, which anticipated performance art, and it was stopped by the World War I. So the world effed up everything for them. Isn't that the truth? And after that we had Bauhaus, which was founded in Weimar, I guess that's how it's pronounced, in 1919. It included an experimental performing arts workshop with the goal of exploring the relationship between the body, space, sound, and light. That's interesting. I wonder what that was like. I don't know, I'll try to find... Well, actually there's probably nothing recorded from 1990s, right? 1919, yeah, that's too early. I would love to see what they did back then. I could probably find stuff maybe as early as from the 60s, right? I don't know. I'll check on YouTube, there has to be something. The Black Mountain College, founded in the United States by instructors of the original Bauhaus, oh, that's interesting, who were exiled by the Nazi party. Work. We love that. We love when Nazi party exiles you, that you achieved something. So they continued incorporating experimental performing arts in the scenic arts training 20 years before the events related to the history of performance art in the 60s. Yeah, as I said, the 60s, yeah. So that is how it kind of like, I guess, that is what brought performance art into daylight. The 60s is where it kind of becomes what we know it today. And you know what, I will put some notable names of these performance artists back then and today, you know, whatever I can find, and maybe what they did or something, so I don't have to bore you with just talking about every person, but I will choose like a few of them just so I can make a more interesting video about, you know, and about the stuff that they did. A lot of the stuff I didn't know. I know it seems very short here probably in the video because I just try to keep the pace up. I don't want to bore anyone. But this is definitely, I read a lot of stuff that I like, that was intriguing, and I will have to continue reading more on that. So let's just keep on moving. Oh, okay, so there's this French artist that I actually heard of, and sorry if I mispronounce his name, it's Olivier de Sagazan. He's also a sculptor and a performer, so his most famous performance, which I've seen actually, is called Transfiguration. That was created in the 1998, and here's a video. Segazan, that is him, he changes identities on stage from man to animal and from animal to various hybrid creatures. Originally trained as a biologist, Olivier de Sagazan turned to painting and sculpting with the ever-present idea of questioning organic life. From his passion to give life to matter came the idea for him to cover his own body with clay in order to observe the resulting object. And I remember seeing that video for the first time. And I thought this is kind of creepy, very eerie, very fascinating. And I always thought it was kind of like, in a way, metamorphosis, I guess, or just, I guess, changing your own physical appearance, changing how you may be perceived. But I guess there is a bit more to that than just the physical form, although that is mostly what this thing is describing. What are your thoughts of it? I mean, you can see it, you saw it on the screen. So what do you think about it? Go look it up. Go see the entire performance. It's actually very interesting. You don't like. There's no reason to skip. It's very interesting to watch the way he molds his face, basically what he draws, what he stabs in his face. I don't know. Like it irks, but like certain kind of emotions that I cannot express with my words. The next person we have is John Cage, which I did not hear of, and he was an American composer and music theorist, artist, and a philosopher. So Cage was one of the leading figures of the post-war avant-garde. So he's deemed, I guess, as one of the most influential composers of the 20th century. He was also instrumental in the development of modern dance, mostly through his association with choreographer Merce Cunningham, who was also Cage's romantic partner for most of their lives. Oh, okay, so they work together. That's nice. Okay, let me look up what actually... Yeah, his stuff is interesting. And now looking through these articles, they say that his pieces, let's call it that, have been deemed kind of a bit ridiculed, I guess. People didn't take it very seriously. And I can understand that, because in this performance he's just, taking household objects and making them create sounds, which is not, together. That is not actual music, I guess you can say, because there are no notes, there is no melody. It is interesting to see him do that on the beat that he has designed himself. Like, what else then is performance art? Like, is this performance art, like just me standing here creating this video? Is that performance art? Because it could be. I'm not saying that it is, because I don't think it is. It's just me talking to the camera, not saying anything much, except from what I've read here. Performance art really can be everything. And just on the topic of Marina Abramović, just to get back to her again, I remember her piece where she was just sitting in a museum and she would have people sit opposite of her and they would just stare at each other. And I'm like, that sounds like a kind of like dull idea. Like, why would you just go sit in front of some woman and look at her and think that is going to be some profound experience? But it allegedly was. It was a big hit in New York, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. A lot of people came to see her, a lot, every day. Famous people came, regular people came. I would probably go, why not? I like her. We will see. We will see if I will actually make something. Just so I can, act a fool. Why not? Who is to say that what I will create as performance art is not actually performance art? You can say that. I say that it will be. So therefore it is. So I guess that's it. You know what? I will leave links in the description so you can check out certain things that I've talked about yourself, because let's educate ourselves. And this may not be the most, I guess, educational topic. I could have chosen something a bit more broad, like type stuff from general knowledge, because I do lack in that. But I'm like, maybe that's too boring for the video, so I didn't want to just cover school topics. And this is where I ended up with, and I'm very pleased. I will now read more on it once I finish with this, because now I'm kind of like pumped to learn more. I want to know more. I've seen so many names and so many interesting acts, and I don't want to keep this video too long, as I said before, so I'll just learn about that on my own. I guess I'm just going on a tangent. I should just end the video here. Thank you for watching, and the next video is going to be my regular stuff, which is writing, and then again learning. This is how I'm going to be doing the channel. But I will maybe implement some other topics. But yeah, this is it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this shit. Maybe I shouldn't say shit. I don't know how YouTube... I am going to learn what YouTube's like and doesn't. Anyway, again, thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.